is just unheard of, and it really sounds the alarm for someone like me who studied journalism in college. Right? It really it scares me.
Can I just talk at the same time? Can I just finish what I was saying so that I don't 6,000 Canadians so that I don't lose my thought? The point is,
it all went down on live TV, folks. Picture this: Stephen A. Smith, the outspoken sports commentator known for his fiery takes and no-holds-barred opinions, stepped on Asterisk, The View Asterisk said, and immediately cranked up the heat to a level rarely seen on daytime TV. What started as a discussion about political strategy and the Democratic Party's recent missteps quickly spiraled into an intense, emotional showdown. At the heart of it all was Sunny Hostin, one of the show's most vocal co-hosts, who found herself directly in the line of fire from Smith's sharp critique. This wasn't just another lively debate. It was a full-blown clash of perspectives that had viewers hooked and social media buzzing.
Trump's only been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to...
The fireworks started off innocently enough. Stephen A. Smith, invited to discuss the state of American politics and the upcoming election, wasted no time in calling out what he saw as glaring failures in the Democratic Party's messaging. With his signature blend of passion and precision, he argued that the Democrats had lost touch with their core base, the very people who once carried them to victory. The Democrats didn't lose because of Donald Trump, Smith declared, his voice resonating across the room. They lost because they forgot who brought them to the dance. His bold statement immediately set off a storm, especially with Sunny Hostin, known for her staunch defense of progressive policies. Hostin wasn't about to let Smith's critique slide. She fired back with a passionate defense, highlighting the Democratic Party's long-standing efforts to support working families, expand social safety nets, and champion equality. Let's not forget what the Democratic Party has always stood for, she said, her voice laced with both frustration and determination. Programs like SNAP, access to health care, and fighting for the rights of marginalized communities. That's the message. And it's not something we should just dismiss.
So 20 years after they last won a popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it all, 89% of the counties shifted gears. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate.
But Smith wasn't backing down. In fact, he doubled down. He pointed to what he saw as a glaring disconnect between the party's rhetoric and its actions. He brought up the migrant crisis, highlighting how, under Joe Biden's administration, over 12 million people had crossed the border. This, he argued, had caused chaos in cities and strained local resources. Smith then questioned what had happened to the Democrats who once championed the working class. "You talk about helping families," he said. "But what about the families who are struggling because of policies that don't address their needs?"
What's a different definition of a mandate, I guess?
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
Some people didn't
we should continue to do that. No, don't continue to do it. Find a new strategy.
But do you think those groups, the black voters, the Latino voters, and the others that you mentioned, are they going to regret it soon?
Hostin's response was swift and impassioned. She firmly pushed back against Smith's criticisms, asserting that the Democratic Party's values have always been rooted in helping those most in need. She pointed to the challenges the Biden administration inherited, from a deeply divided nation to navigating unprecedented global crisis. "It's easy to criticize when you're standing on the sidelines," Hostin said, her tone resolute. She emphasized that the administration has had to clean up messes left behind while still trying to move the country forward.
He's coming and he wins. You got to find a way to beat him. This way is not the way that the Democrats have been doing it.
Let's talk about how
The tension in the room was palpable as the debate intensified. Other co-hosts tried to interject, but it was clear this was a battle between two heavyweights. Smith, with his commanding presence, continued to press his point. He brought up Barack Obama's record on deportations, noting that Obama had deported more migrants than Trump. What didn't Obama do? Smith asked, leaning forward for emphasis. He didn't bloviate about it. He got the job done quietly, without turning it into a spectacle. Smith then declared, "This is leadership, and what we're seeing now is policy without purpose."
people are feeling about his performance, because a CNN poll this week found that 52% of people disapprove of Trump's performance in office so far. So even though he may have won the general election by less than 50%, 52% disapprove of what he's doing. We're also seeing Republican voters at town halls opposing his executive overreach, giving Elon Musk the shadow presidency.
Hostin, visibly emotional, defended Biden's approach, arguing that the current challenges required compassion and a focus on humanity. The people involved aren't just statistics, she said, her voice thick with emotion. These are families, children, human beings. She emphasized that they couldn't be treated like mere numbers to manage, stressing the importance of seeing them as people, not problems to be solved.
Yet you said, quote, Trump is closer to normal than what we're seeing on the left.
Yeah, I was talking about why he won the election.
so?
When I made that statement, I was talking about, that was before the election.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
So when during the election, I said, in the immediate aftermath of the election, I pointed out he was voted for because they considered him closer to normal than what the Democrats were spewing. That was what I said at that particular moment in time. Now, obviously, Elon Musk is an entirely different matter altogether.
Right.
This man is not an elected official. He hasn't been confirmed by the Senate or anything.
But Smith wasn't backing down. He shifted the focus to the broader implications of the Democrats' struggles, pointing to Trump's significant gains among minority voters in the last election. The Democrats are losing ground. Black voters, Latino voters, young voters, Smith said. Trump is making inroads with all of them. He warned that if the Democrats don't adapt and figure out what's going wrong, they're going to lose again. It's that simple.
Scared the living daylights out of folks, and the approval ratings, obviously we pay attention to that. But here's the bigger question. Who on the Democratic side are the American people pointing to and saying that's the person?
We'll see.
They don't have anybody yet.
Well, we're
plenty.
6 weeks in with you know who.
National Voice.
Right.
We're 6 weeks in with you
Leader
know who.
Jeffries.
Everybody said let him do what he's doing so we can see what's going on.
Hostin's frustration reached a boiling point as she tried to counter Smith's argument. She brought up systemic issues, voter suppression, and the role of misinformation in shaping public opinion. Hostin insisted that the barriers people face when trying to make their voices heard couldn't be ignored. It's not just about strategy, it's about justice, she said firmly. The back and forth continued, with each side refusing to yield. Smith, ever the provocateur, challenged Hostin and the Democratic Party to take a hard look in the mirror. You can't win by doing the same thing over and over again, he said, his tone unwavering. You need a new strategy, a new message, and a leader who can inspire people to believe in you again. Right now, I don't see that happening. What made this exchange so riveting was the raw emotion on display. Hostin, deeply invested in her beliefs, struggled to hold back tears as she defended the Democratic Party's principles. Smith, on the other hand, remained unflinching, delivering his critiques with the precision of a seasoned debater. It was a clash of ideologies, yes, but also something far more personal, a reflection of the high stakes in the upcoming election and the passionate convictions of both individuals.
I thought what she also said, in disagreeing with Stephen A. Smith, thankfully, is that the current president does not have a mandate. He does not. And I'm glad that she made that clear to our viewers. I've said it, Joy has said it.
The audience, both in the studio and online, was sharply divided. Some applauded Smith for speaking truth to power, while others rallied behind Hostin, praising her for standing her ground and advocating for compassion. Social media exploded with reactions, memes, and hot takes, as viewers dissected every word and gesture from the fiery exchange. As the debate finally wound down, the energy in the room remained palpable. Smith delivered a parting shot, urging the Democratic Party to wake up and take action. "You've got to stop making excuses and start delivering results," he said. "Because if you don't, the guy in the Oval Office right now is going to steamroll you, and you won't even see it coming." Hostin, still visibly emotional, responded with a call for unity and hope. "We can't give up on the fight," she said, her voice steadying. "This isn't just about politics, it's about people. And we owe it to them to keep pushing for a better future." It was a moment that perfectly encapsulated the intensity of political discourse in today's deeply divided landscape. The clash between Stephen A. Smith and Sunny Hostin wasn't just a debate. It was a microcosm of the larger struggles facing America, a nation grappling with questions of identity, leadership, and the way forward.
You know, not only has Trump emboldened people to run for the highest office of the land, he's actually surrounded himself with incompetency. So that is scary to me. And people that are loyal, that will just do whatever he says and go along with the program, not only in his cabinet, but in Congress. So I'm sort of, you know.
As the show cut to commercial, the air was thick with unresolved tension. And for viewers, the conversation was far from over. The showdown had ignited a firestorm of opinions, ensuring that the debate would continue long after the cameras stopped rolling. What would come next for Asterisk, The View Asterisk, and its co-hosts? One thing was clear, this was just the beginning of a much larger conversation. Now let's dig deeper, because the clash between Stephen A. Smith and Sunny Hostin wasn't just an isolated event. Nope, moments like this are practically a recurring theme on Asterisk, The View Asterisk, a show known for its explosive debates, polarizing hosts, and let's be honest, never-ending controversies. The truth is, Hostin's emotional reaction to Smith's critique is just the latest chapter in a long and dramatic history of scandals and jaw-dropping moments that have kept Asterisk, The View Asterisk, in the headlines for years. So buckle up, this rabbit hole goes deep.
And I think it's time for Democrats to meet that moment, meet that energy. What does that look like? What does an opposition look like? Not a resistance, because a resistance is passive. An opposition is active. I want to see that. And I don't think anyone in Congress, because this is not a State of the Union, this is a joint session of...
Let's talk about Asterisk, The View Asterisk itself. For over 2 decades, it's been the ultimate stage for fiery debates and personality clashes. What started as a platform for women to come together and discuss hot topics has evolved into a battleground where worldviews collide live on television. But here's the thing, the show thrives on this chaos. The more heated the debates, the higher the ratings, and the producers. Oh, they know exactly what they're doing. They've curated a panel of personalities so diverse that conflict is practically built into the format. It's like throwing fire and gasoline into a room and waiting to see what happens. Sunny Hostin, of course, has been one of the show's most outspoken and polarizing figures. Known for her sharp legal mind and unwavering progressive stance, she doesn't shy away from controversy. But with that boldness often comes backlash. Over the years, she's found herself at the center of some pretty intense moments, both on and off the show. And let's be clear, her critics have never held back.
This is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York. You guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia.
One of the most infamous moments in Sunny Hostin's time on Asterisk, The View Asterisk, came when she made comments that many viewers, to put it mildly, found controversial. Remember when she referred to certain voters as uneducated? Oh, the internet had a field day with that one. It happened during a discussion about Donald Trump's election success, where Sunny argued that his victory could be attributed to a specific demographic, non-college educated white women. Whether you agree with her or not, the backlash was swift and unforgiving. Social media exploded with reactions, some accusing her of elitism, while others supported her for speaking what they called an uncomfortable truth. But that wasn't the only time Sunny stirred the pot. Oh no, there's more. Let's not forget the time she made waves with her comments about Hispanic voters after Kamala Harris' loss. Sunny suggested that sexism and misogyny played a significant role in why many Latino voters didn't support Harris. There's still a lot of patriarchy in our culture, she said, sparking yet another round of heated debate. Even her co-host, Alyssa Farah Griffin, who usually tries to play the diplomatic conservative, couldn't hold back her frustration. And you know it's serious when people on Asterisk, the View Asterisk, start throwing their hands in the air mid-argument. But here's where things get even juicier. While Sunny has faced criticism for her comments on race and gender, her critics have also accused her of hypocrisy. You see, Sunny has built her brand on advocating for equality and justice. But some viewers feel her remarks about certain groups don't always align with those principles. For example, her critics point out that while she's quick to call out racism and sexism, she doesn't always extend this same level of nuance to people who don't share her political views. It's a double-edged sword that keeps fans and critics alike glued to their screens, always wondering what she'll say next.
So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange.
Wait, it doesn't end there. Sunny's personal life has also come under scrutiny, adding yet another layer of intrigue to her time on Asterisk, the View Asterisk. One of the most talked about scandals involved her husband, Sunny Hostin. Rumors swirled about his alleged involvement in legal issues, and while Sunny mostly kept quiet about it on air, the tabloids were relentless. For a show that thrives on transparency and tackling tough issues, the lack of discussion about this particular topic didn't go unnoticed by viewers. Some even accused Sunny of dodging accountability, which only fueled the drama further.
Now, he's just accused, and this accused in a lawsuit after some time of investigation could ultimately become a federal indictment.
Her public image seemed to clash with her on-screen persona. For instance, reports surfaced about tensions between Sunny and some of the production staff behind the scenes. While these claims remain unconfirmed, whispers of diva-like behavior have occasionally circulated in entertainment circles. This has led some to question whether Sunny's passionate persona on air is always as genuine as it appears, or if it's part of a larger performance carefully crafted for the cameras.
Look, well, when your name ends up with 200 people in a RICO investigation, this is the biggest investigation since Giuliani shook the tree and a bunch of mobsters fell out, right? This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video. It sure is ironic that she's up there. So,
at the same time, Sunny's defenders argue that she's simply a strong woman navigating an industry that often criticizes outspoken women. They point to her impressive resume: lawyer, journalist, and outspoken advocate for social justice, as proof that she's more than capable of holding her ground, even when the heat is on. For many of her fans, Sunny represents the kind of voice that's often missing from mainstream media: unapologetic, passionate, and unafraid to call it like she sees it. It's this very duality, the ability to polarize and inspire, that keeps her at the forefront of Asterisk, the View Asterisk. But even with her supporters rallying behind her, Sunny's place on the show isn't without its challenges. Tensions have been rising among the co-hosts, especially with Alyssa Farah Griffin stepping into the conservative seat. Some are wondering whether The View is approaching a tipping point. Can the show continue to function with so many clashing personalities? Or will the constant drama eventually implode? For now, it seems producers are more than willing to let the sparks fly, knowing full well that the chaos is part of what keeps viewers coming back for more.
I have a totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips.
I know it's just like
twice a day.
But here's all I hear from her. America's violent, America's racist, America's bad.
Sunny isn't the only co-host to find herself in hot water. The View as a whole has earned a reputation for courting controversy, whether intentional or not. Joy Behar, another longtime panelist, has had her fair share of eyebrow-raising moments. Remember when she made that comment about Karine Jean-Pierre, the youngest ever White House press secretary? Joy suggested that Jean-Pierre only got the job because of her appearance, saying she was probably put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. Yikes. That remark didn't just spark outrage. It set off a social media firestorm, with critics accusing Joy of sexism. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. After all, isn't The View supposed to champion women in leadership positions? It was one of those moments that left fans divided, with some defending Joy's comment as a joke and others calling it a step too far. Then there's Whoopi Goldberg, the show's moderator and a Hollywood legend in her own right. While Whoopi often tries to keep the peace, she's not immune to controversy either. She's had her fair share of on-air blunders and heated exchanges. One particularly memorable moment came when she clashed with Alyssa Farah Griffin over immigration policies. Whoopi, clearly frustrated, told Alyssa, "Let me finish," after being interrupted multiple times. It was a rare moment of tension between the usually composed Whoopi and her younger, more conservative co-host. And who could forget the time Whoopi made headlines for her remarks about historical events, which led to a temporary suspension from the show? It seems no one on The View is safe from the spotlight or the backlash. But here's the thing, as messy as these controversies are, they're also what keep The View relevant. The show thrives on its ability to spark debate and get people talking, even if it means stepping into uncomfortable territory. While the hosts may clash on air, behind the scenes they all understand the game. The more polarized...
I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right.
And this latest clash between Stephen A. Smith and Sunny Hostin is just another reminder of the tightrope The View walks every day. On one hand, it's a platform for meaningful conversations. On the other, it's a lightning rod for controversy. Whether you love it or hate it, one thing's for sure, the show knows how to keep people talking. And as long as that's the case, The View and its hosts aren't going anywhere. As the dust settles on this explosive debate, the question remains, do you think Stephen A. Smith's critiques hold merit, or is Sunny Hostin's defense of the Democratic Party's values more compelling? How do you believe this heated exchange will impact the upcoming election and the broader political landscape? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more riveting discussions and controversies. Goodbye.